Hello! Today I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the benefits that you can get if you go to higher education or university. I'm going to be speaking from my experience, so it's important to remember that everybody's university experience might be a little bit different. So it's really important to make sure that before you make a decision, you get as much information as possible. One of the biggest benefits in relation to employment and career is that graduates, or people who have a degree, on average tend to earn more than those people who don't have a degree or haven't gone to university. The last Department of Education figures show that graduates earn on average £10,000 more a year compared to somebody who hasn't been to university. Why do I think it's important to mention this benefit? Well, I think one of the anxieties that people have when they're deciding about whether or not to go to university is that university will leave them in a lot of debt. Now, that isn't strictly true, but I'm not here to talk about that today. But the reason I think it's important to mention that graduates earn more is that there's this anxiety that going to university might leave you more financially unstable. But actually, the research shows us that graduates are more financially stable. They tend to earn more. They tend to be in more higher skilled employment, and they tend to progress in their careers faster. So if you are looking to advance your career and to have a financially successful career, then actually going to university can be a good option for you. One of the most important benefits that I think isn't talked about as much as it should be is that going to university gives you an opportunity to study something that you love. For example, me, I took philosophy at university. Now, I didn't have a particular career in mind when I was going to university, I didn't know that I wanted to be a teacher, or I didn't know that I wanted to be a nurse. I just took philosophy because I enjoyed it and I wanted the opportunity to study it more. And I think this is really important because when you are deciding whether or not to go to university, you need to be committed. Now, whether that's because you're committed to doing the degree because it gets you a specific career, or maybe you're committed because you really enjoy the subject. The more committed you are to what you're doing, the more likely you are to succeed at it as well, which again will just contribute to a better experience. Related to that, another cool thing about being at university is there's a lot more flexibility and independence about what you study. So at school, whereas you had to read that book or you had to study that chapter, university is a lot more flexible. So some of my friends who took the same course as me, they took philosophy at the same university. We actually had no classes together because there were so many options. We could choose to study ethics if we wanted to, or we could choose to study other subjects. And so again, if there's something you're really passionate about, you'll probably be able to study it at university. Something that I think is joked about regarding university students, but is really important nonetheless, is the social life. The social life that you can have at university is amazing. Whether you're quieter and you prefer a night in, or you're a bit more extroverted and you prefer a night out, there will be something for you. You will find your people. There's lots of ways you can meet people and find friends at university. You obviously have the people who you may live with if you decide to live at university. There is the people that will be on your course and in your classes and your seminars. But then there's also societies as well. Societies are like clubs focused around an interest. So I was part of the Doctor Who Society. But there's lots of other societies. There's sports societies, pretty much anything. You can go and Google and have a look and see what universities have, what societies they have. But there will be something for you. I think sometimes there's a lot of pressure on university students to be best friends with your flatmates and they're the people that you'll stick to. But that isn't always the experience of everybody, and that's okay because there's lots of different ways to meet people at university. So you will find your people and you will find your group. Another cool thing related to the social life side of things is that you'll usually get to meet people that are like you in some ways, but you'll also get to meet people that perhaps you would never have met before had you not gone to university. One of my closest friends at university grew up in France. They were a lot older than me, they'd travelled the world, they'd done all these things, and I perhaps would never have known them if I hadn't been to university. So it's a good opportunity to meet people that you might otherwise not have had the opportunity to. I mentioned before that university is a lot more flexible and independent, and I want to sort of go over that again because I think if I had to say one word in a nutshell, which I think described the benefits of going to university and the university experience, it would be independence. There's not just increased independence in what you study, but also how you study. So if you don't like exams, then you can take classes which use essays or assignments. At school, if you don't attend a class, the the teachers will phone home, and if you don't do your homework, maybe you'll get a detention. At university, it's not like that at all. Nobody will chase you. It's completely independent, but that also means you have to be a lot more responsible too. You have to manage your own time. You have to make sure you're doing the work. You have to make sure you're going to the lectures. Nobody's going to chase you. And that's a really important skill when you're going to apply for jobs later down the line, because employers need to know that you can manage your time effectively. They need to know that you can work independently. You don't need somebody, over your shoulder all the time in the way that school might be. So going to university, again, it builds up those skills that are necessary for a successful career, even if the degree itself doesn't have a specific career in mind. So like I was saying, I studied philosophy. My degree isn't directly related to any career per se, but I've got a lot of skills from the degree that have allowed me to navigate my own career path. Another aspect of the independence at university is the life that you have generally. So for example, before coming to university, I'd never paid bills, I'd never paid rent, I'd never done my own food shopping, I hadn't really meal planned, and I hadn't really used public transport on my own a lot. And these were all things that I had to do when coming to university. I had to pay rent, I had to pay bills, I had to navigate the public transport system myself. I had to go shopping on my own, I had to meal plan, I had to cook my own meals, I had to do my washing up. And these, again, are just really important life skills that you can carry with you for the rest of life, that makes that transition into adulthood just a little bit easier. And finally, another benefit of going to higher education or university is the experiences that you'll get that wouldn't have been open to you had you not gone to university. So, for example, when I was at university, I had the opportunity to work for the university in schools with students. And this is an opportunity that I just would never have had if I hadn't gone to university. And that experience has really helped me decide what I want to do as a career, and it's given me vital experience for that career. I mentioned that I joined the Doctor Who Society. Not only did I join the society, but I actually became the president of that society. So that involved leading a team of committee members, planning events, running events, budgeting for the society, spending the money of the society in a responsible way, making decisions, dealing with conflict when committee members don't agree. Again, all really vital skills for a successful career in the future. Other opportunities that might be available to you at your university include being able to go for a year abroad and studying for a year in another country, maybe Amsterdam, Germany, the US. I didn't do this personally, but I know lots of my friends who did, and they absolutely loved it. So if you're looking to maybe move to another country in the future, or you just want to try something different, then that opportunity may be open to you. And also, the university will offer you lots of support. So the university will have sports facilities, the university will have libraries, the university will have support services if you're struggling with your mental health and well-being. If you're struggling with academic skills, there will be some sort of support in place in that university to help you out. So for example, in my second year, I felt that I was struggling with essay writing and I didn't really know how to move forward. So I got in touch with the university's academic services, and they were able to help me identify where perhaps I needed to improve and how to move forward. As I said at the start of this video, everybody's university experience is unique, and my experience isn't going to be reflective of somebody else's, and that's completely okay. And equally, university may not be the right choice for everyone, and that's okay too. But what we're here to do is to give you all of the information to enable you to make that decision of what's right for you, and also to show you what university can look like and what experience you can actually have. So I hope this video has been helpful. If there was anything that you didn't know about university that now you do, write in the comments below.